But you have to use a little trickery here to achieve that. So in an attempt to recreate this logical crime scene, I'll take what clues you give me, and I'll offer two projections. P would have to equal definite description in order to get that conclusion. And the property you pair with P is the definition of a definite description. That is, a definite description has a mutually exclusive predicate, which becomes our Q. But you still need to talk about Christians and Muslims and this business about how they worship mutually exclusive gods to make your argument work, to make your argument that the word God must refer to nothing, but you've simply run out of terms. However, you do smuggle it in there, but you do it through trickery. You do it through intellectual, logical sleight of hand, intellectual trickery. Here's how I predict the error happened, and had you fleshed this out in your video, sir, or at least on paper, before you made the video, I assume you would have seen this because the error occurs in the first line. Here's your modalist tollens. This is yours. Here it is. Here it is. I will arrive at the conclusion you want, and I'll show you the only way we can arrive at your conclusion. If the word God is a definite description, P. Okay, that's your P. If the word God is a definite description, then Q. What follows is Q. Then the word God has mutually exclusive predicates. To say without interruption, if the word God, if the word God is a definite description, then the word God has mutually exclusive predicates. Now, if you caught that, that's a grammatical error. And it invalidates your beginning premise of your modus tollens. But it would allow one to fool himself into thinking he's accounting for more ideas than a modus tollens actually allows. And that's precisely what you do. So once again, I'll give you the full modus tollens this time. I won't interrupt, I promise. If the word God is a definite description, then the word God has mutually exclusive predicates. The word God does not have mutually exclusive predicates. Then the word God is not a definite description. For us to believe this conclusion, we have to believe that a single definite description has two or more mutually exclusive predicates to warrant the use of the plural tense in the term of Q, which contradicts your initial definition of a definite description where you say it only has one mutually exclusive predicate. So if we were to correct this error, the modus tollens reads like this. If the word God is a definite description, then the word God is or has a mutually exclusive predicate. The word God does not have a mutually exclusive predicate. Then the word God is not a definite description. If this is the way we cast it, then the problem lies in the second line where you assert the word God does not have a mutually exclusive predicate, which contradicts your argument that Christians and Muslims actually do worship something with mutually exclusive predicates. That's the whole point of your presentation, is to say that they are different, that the one is red and the other is not red. So for the conclusion to be correct here, and you're right in your claim that both Christians and Muslims worship mutually exclusive predicates, we have to assume that you are talking about a concept of God that is neither Christian nor Muslim in character. Urban Elf, you're trying to do, I think really where this all lies is you start off with this one argument that was very innocent, really, in trying to demonstrate that Christians and Muslims are actually worshiping a different God, and they should stop trying to get happy together and say, oh, different concept, same God. But from that, you try to just get blood from a stone and turn that into saying there is no God. If your intention was to demonstrate that Christians and Muslims worship a different God, then demonstrating those differences would have been prudent. But you don't do that at all in this video. Never once. More interestingly, is this thought you have that that conclusion would somehow lead us to believe that God, the word God, refers to nothing. That's what you tried to do, and you failed to do it. You're an intelligent guy. This argument is nowhere near nowhere near that kind of description. It's not intelligent. It's not. This whole presentation is a mess, Urban Elf. And though I can't actually put you under arrest for that earlier logical crime scene, I would say this to everyone else. If you ever come across an argument that is difficult to comprehend, it is never because you are not smart enough to grasp its logic. If it is difficult to comprehend, then it is because the logic just isn't there. Have more faith in yourself and your own ability, and don't ever let people like this get away with arguments that amount to nothing more than logical sleight of hand and intellectual foul play.